Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the new patch coming out on September 18, which is the Storm of Arrows. So the Storm of Arrows, as the name implies, will be releasing the Archer. So we will be getting the Holy Archer as well as the Wind Archer, and there's a little trailer over here which you can watch. And as usual, because a new class is coming out, we're also going to be getting a lot of goodies. So you do need to register in order to be eligible for all these goodies. So go to this link over here. It will be in the description below. Click on it and click register now. You will need to log in order to register for it. If you are unable to log in normally here, try using incognito mode for Google Chrome. You can do that simply by clicking this button up here and then go to new incognito mode or Control-Shift-N. And then try logging in through that. If that doesn't work, and if you're living in Southeast Asia, like where I live, like in China or somewhere not in the United States, try using a VPN. I usually VPN to either Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong. These usually work because if I try to log in normally with just my Chinese IP address, it doesn't let me log in. Just try a VPN and try different IPs and try to log in through that. Usually that solves my issue. But then once you click here, you register and then you're able to get a free Zen Archer Bullseye pack. And what does that give you? It gives you all these goodies over here. So it gives you the costume, so this costume, which is pretty nice. It gives you the hair adornment, which is this little feather looking thing. It gives you the Archangel earrings. It also gives you 2 special Homuni XP charms, 10 Radiant cores, and Radiant Nebula stones. So these Radiant Nebula stones are actually pretty useful. They're used for your soul and your heart. So I assume that other than Trove, there's probably going to be a cost reduction event for your heart and for your soul. As for the Radiant cores, this is probably the event currency that we're going to be needing to buy our regular stuff, such as our sacred vials, sacred oils, blah, 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 blah. There is a time limit. You do need to register before September 13. So please do that now. At the time of this video, it is currently September 5th for me. So do register ASAP so that you can make sure to get all these rewards. So as you can see here, the new class is called the Zen Archer. It's not just called the Archer. And there are 2 specs. There's Way of the Lightbringer and Way of the Wind Piercer. So Lightbringer is the PvE spec. Wind Piercer is the PvP spec. But technically, it doesn't really matter. You can play the Wind for PvE if you want. You can play the Light for PvP if you want. I'm not going to stop you. You can do whatever you want. The Wind Archer is easier to play, in my personal opinion, compared to the Light Archer. However, it is more ping dependent. I probably will make a video regarding both specs on the classes because a lot of people have requested it. So even though I personally am not a huge fan of the Archer class, just because of how ping dependent it is, but I'll still cover the content, at least the very basic rotation, and kind of walk you through the class so that you guys aren't left in the dark. So the next thing I'm very excited for, it's called the Cathedra Cliffs. I don't know if this is a typo, if it's supposed to be Cathedral or Cathedra, but either way, this is the new bracelet dungeon. It's a PvE bracelet. It's okay. It's basically the current bracelet we have, but with better stats. I'm excited for it because it's a DPS increase, right? So I need it for my summoner, especially since we're progressing through Eternity Temple, the last boss in Scarlet Conservatory. And so I need any DPS increase I can get. So I'm happy that this dungeon's coming out. We will be farming the crap out of this and trying to get our bracelets. As for guides, I will be making a guide for this dungeon when it does come out. However, again, I will need to do it with my guild and try to get the footage and record it and then make a video out of it. So do give me a little bit of time and I'll try to get this one ASAP. We're also getting new legendary weapons. Over here, I'm a little bit excited. Not only are we getting our Thornbreaker stages 7 to 9, we're also getting 2 new PvE paths, which is the Lion Roar and the Wing Song weapons. So I'm quite interested in seeing these 2 weapons, the Lion Roar and Wing Song. I've never actually seen the stats on what they boost, because especially for my class, the Earth Summoner, it might actually be better for me to go the Lion Roar or the Wing Song, depending on like which one boosts the Earth Summoner DPS. So I will definitely be taking a look at these, and I will probably be going this PvE path and showing you guys the results and seeing how much DPS I gain and stuff like that. Other than that, they've also written this. In the coming days, we'll be offering an in-depth preview of the new Zen Archer class, previews on the new Heroic Dungeon and Raid Dungeon, as well as information on the new legendary items and game system updates. Stay tuned for the sneak peek previews and follow us on blah 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 blah. So this means that there will be a live stream. Thank goodness there's going to be a live stream. Please, if there's no live stream, I'll send Marky over to the NC West studios, tie you all to a chair and force you guys to live stream, okay? So don't make me do that. But there will be a live stream, and what's piqued my interest over here is Raid Dungeon. So new Heroic Dungeon, we know this one is the new Bracelet Dungeon, right? New Raid Dungeon. So this one is very interesting. What I think it is this right here. It's the beginner mode Twilight Temple raid, which was a limited time event in Korea. Is basically a dumbed down version of Twilight Temple. However, all the rewards remain the same. And so a lot of beginners or a lot of people who were new to Twilight Temple had the opportunity to practice. I will leave this video in the description below so that you can check it out. But basically, this is a clip of the Grand Celestial Emperor, or the last boss in Twilight Temple. And the main things that have changed is you don't need to do conduction in the last phase to create the circles. So the circles are automatically created and you just need a random person in the circle, and that's it really. So you can watch the video, but it's much easier than before, because you don't have to deal with, oh, who has light buff, who has dark buff, who has a neutral buff, do we have the right combination in order to do conduction correctly, blah blah blah. There's none of that. And the alt bar over here charges up extremely slow. Like, you could basically DPS the boss the entire fight and it would never hit max num. So you have a ton of time, a ton of freedom. But the main purpose of this is for a lot of beginners or a lot of people who are progressing through Twilight Temple to get a feel of what the boss fight is. For tanks, the rotation is exactly the same, only during phase it's different. But I think this is what's coming out. It's just going to be the beginner mode for Twilight Temple. Keep in mind, this is not beginner mode for all the dungeons. It is only for Twilight Temple or Nightfall Sanctuary in the West. And so this is going to be a little bit interesting. I wonder if they're going to be nerfing the rewards, because they did do that with the Heimujin event. With the Heimujin event, we were supposed to get Twilight Temple accessories whenever we killed Heimujin, and these were permanent versions too. But they removed that because they lowered the requirement, the DPS requirement to do Heimujin. But hopefully this doesn't get changed too much. This event was people can do this beginner mode raid in Twilight Temple and they're still able to get their accessories and stuff like that. So hopefully this doesn't get nerfed loot wise. But that's about it. I'm definitely looking forward toward the live stream, not when it goes live, mainly because it does go live at like 3 a.m. my time, so I will be sleeping. But in the morning, on the next day, I will be watching the VOD, and then I will make a patch preview video for all of you guys who missed out the live stream or simply don't want to watch the live stream. And yeah, that's about all I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a subscribe, or if you want to go that extra mile, please consider becoming a member. Speaking about members, I'd like to thank Solar Hero, STSin2, Lina Ren, Leishi, Dante-sama, and Ki for becoming members and supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the